for playback at this time. Good morning and welcome to Trust Talk by BBB on 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS, and WMBS590.com, featuring Caitlin Driscoll, Public Relations Director, Better Business Bureau of Western Pennsylvania. Caitlin, good morning. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy 2026.
Yeah, hard to believe hard to believe it's another year. And what are we going to be discussing on our first Trust Talk by BBB here in the new year?
Well, we may be nearing the end of January already, but it's still a new year, and we are going to talk about all of the different timely ways that our listeners can be more informed, savvier consumers. And what we're going to talk about today is based on some of the recent inquiries and different scam reports that we've been receiving locally at our office.
For those people who may be first-time listeners of the show, can you give a brief overview of what the Better Business Bureau does?
Sure. Now, the Better Business Bureau, we are a nonprofit business membership organization, and we've provided assistance to consumers and the business community for over 110 years now. And we connect people with businesses that they can trust through our BBB business profiles, our ratings, our accredited business membership program. We also resolve issues involving marketplace transactions through our free dispute resolution program. And we report on and warn about fraudulent activity that's happening locally on a national basis through a program called BBB Scam Tracker. Now, all of these services are accessible, provided at no cost to consumers through our website at bbb.org.
And what has been a hot topic for BBB in January so far that people are asking about or reporting?
Well, every January, developing healthier habits, weight loss, these are all hot topics. But this year in particular, scammers have been targeting consumers with fake text messages, online pharmacies, and even fraudulent offers for these GLP-1 weight loss medications. And if you're not familiar with GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, they've become popular for both diabetes treatment as well as weight loss. Unfortunately, scammers are taking advantage of their higher demand and limited availability by tricking people with different fake offers and fraudulent websites.
What are some examples of weight loss and GLP-1 scams being reported to BBB?
Well, scammers are increasingly using those deep fake videos, AI-generated images of celebrities, doctors, other trusted figures to promote GLP-1 medications and different weight loss products. And these ads look pretty convincing, but they're completely fabricated, and they're tricking people into believing that these endorsements by different celebrities, doctors, are real, that they're legitimate. And over the course of 2 months, BBB Scam Tracker actually received over 170 reports regarding a specific product called Lipomax. And it's being marketed as a form of the popular pink salt trick on social media. But consumers have reported seeing deep fake videos of celebrities such as Oprah Winfrey, as well as alleged physicians that are endorsing their product. In one example that's been reported to BBB Scam Tracker, a consumer clicked a video link about the pink salt trick and saw what appeared to be Oprah Winfrey and a doctor together promoting Lipomax as a safer alternative to GLP-1 injections. And believing that this endorsement was real, they purchased the product, spending over $300. Later suspected the video was likely AI generated, but when they tried to request a refund, the support email bounced back as non-deliverable. Another person had reported being on Facebook and noticing a video with Oprah Winfrey, a doctor, speaking of this pink salt trick diet. Oprah herself talked about the magnificent results, as did others on this video. Oprah also claimed that she funded the project to manufacture the Lipomax product. So this person figured that it had to be legitimate. But then after ordering the product, spending over $400, she did receive the order, but just now continues to receive emails asking her to sign on with a weight loss coach for even more money.
So what exactly is the trending pink salt trick, and has BBB looked into the LipoMax?
Well, the pink salt trick is a viral wellness trend, especially on TikTok, involving a morning drink of warm water, a pinch of Himalayan pink salt, and lemon juice, often with honey for hydration, and electrolyte balance, and alleged weight loss and bloating relief. But experts say that this is likely just good hydration and habit forming, with no real scientific proof that this results in any kind of rapid weight loss. And of course, there are also warnings excessive salt can cause water retention, other issues for some people. Have you heard of this trend before or seen any of these videos online?
I have not.
Always something new. But a BBB investigation into LipoMax had actually revealed that LipoMax is trademarked by a company registered in Wyoming. However, consumers are directed to send product returns to addresses in Lakeland, Florida, and Largo, Florida. Reports also claim improper billing, non-existent customer service, ineffective ingredients, and continued pressure to buy additional supplements by someone claiming to be a LipoMax coach. Now, in response to the Better Business Bureau, a LipoMax representative did state that the use of AI-generated or deep-fake videos is not authorized nor endorsed by the company, and the videos are not being produced by the company. They added that due to supposedly the independent nature of affiliate marketing, they don't have control over the content that affiliates may create. They're committed to addressing any misuse in order to protect their brand and consumers. So again, you see this kind of stuff, you really have to do your due diligence, additional research. Don't just trust surface level content for what it appears to be.
And if you are searching for weight loss products online or interested in a new weight loss trend, what should you do to stay safe?
Make sure you're only making your purchases from reputable pharmacies. If you come across a pharmacy online that you aren't familiar with, do a search on bbb.org for that company. Find out if there's any information available. And you always want to be cautious of any kind of miracle claims. The Federal Trade Commission has put out different warnings for people to be cautious of these shady weight loss products that are being accompanied by a lot of different false promises. Watch out for red flags such as exaggerated claims. If there's missing contact information or no business registration. And don't be too quick to trust endorsements. With the examples that I had just shared with LipoMax and Oprah Winfrey, a lot of scammers are using pictures, even videos, AI-generated content of celebrities, TV show mentions, or well-known company logos without their permission to try to gain people's trust. So you always want to research the company more before choosing to do business with them when it comes to any kind of weight loss products, medical promises, and especially when it comes to weight loss or any subscription in general, be cautious of what we dub as subscription traps. So what sounds like a great deal can become a subscription trap that hooks people into expensive shipments of products that they didn't agree to buy. When shopping somewhere for the first time, use a credit card or other payment method that offers chargeback protection. And this is especially important for online purchases from unfamiliar sellers.
And we talked a lot about the importance of payment methods at the end of last year with all of the online and holiday shopping happening. Are you hearing from people now, post-holidays, that are having issues with their purchases?
Unfortunately, yes. We always try to emphasize and educate on what to look out for before the fact, before you decide to make that purchase. But this topic of post-holiday purchase disappointment does continue to be reported. And I'll share a few local examples that we've received recently from BBB Scam Tracker. So here was one, ordered the products, paid. I received an order confirmation saying we're getting your order ready to be shipped. We will notify you when it has been sent. They took payment the same day from our credit card. Then I never heard anything after that, and it has been almost 2 months since the order was placed. Here's another one. I ordered a soccer jersey for my son in early November as a Christmas gift. The website is completely bogus. I never received the item, and their so-called live chat support provides fake USPS tracking numbers that don't exist. I do not know where they are located. And then here's one final example. I saw an ad for a children's toy on Facebook, complete with a video showing children playing with the toy. I ordered it in November and received an order confirmation. Within a few days, I also received a tracking number. The supposed movement of the package through customs in 2 countries was shown on the tracking website. Then the day after Christmas, all movement and updates stopped. I complained to the company and demanded that they either deliver the product or refund my money. I received an email that they were resending the item with new tracking information. And on the PayPal website, which I used to pay, the company is listed under 2 entirely different names than the one I initially ordered from. Still no toy and still no refund. And these are all examples that we've received to BBB Scam Tracker throughout January.
When you hear about these situations, what immediately comes to mind, and what should people do if they're dealing with ongoing online purchase issues?
Really be mindful of the payment method utilized and policies in place by your specific financial institution. Though we always encourage people to pay by credit card in these instances, if at all possible. If you do plan to pay by debit card or another method, recognize timeframes for disputing transactions, the process for doing so, and individual policies in place. Because typically time is of the essence, and dishonest companies recognize this. So debit card transactions generally have to be disputed within 60 to 120 days of the transaction date. There's some policies allow for 90 days, so it really can vary. So if you're paying by this method, know your specific policy, and if the deadline is approaching, to file a dispute. And if you're getting the runaround or your order hasn't arrived by then, you want to make sure you're taking immediate action within that allotted time frame. If you're buying online, make sure it's a secure marketplace. If a seller is asking you to pay on some kind of external web page, perform a bank transfer or wire transfer, you really want to be cautious. And if you have paid by credit card, make sure you take advantage of the greater payment protections that are generally in place with this payment method, and file a dispute with your credit card company along with reporting your experience to BBB Scam Tracker. But especially now, as people are looking potentially to make Valentine's Day related purchases online, know who you're dealing with. Check out companies at bbb.org. Always check the seller's reviews, ratings. These exist on various platforms, but authentic verified reviews can be accessed through a company's BBB business profile as well. And when you're reading these reviews, regardless of the platform, make sure you look for trends, positive, negative. Take note of how or if the company is responding to these different reviews. And check for contact information on websites and verify it. So, in the one example I shared, he ended it by saying that he had no idea where this company was located. Whether it's a street address, an email, a phone number, contact information really is crucial in giving you a way to be able to reach that company if there is any kind of issue. And then always take note of any kind of refund, return policies, and shipping times. Check the delivery timetable to see if it meets your expectations. It may be one of the last things you notice, but if you're shopping for something that you want by Valentine's Day, For items shipping from overseas especially, these shipping times can be multiple weeks or even months. So you really want to be aware of that before deciding to place the order.
Another hot topic that BBB recently issued a warning about involves phone scams claiming you have a pre-approved loan or owe money on back taxes. What is happening here?
BBB has been warning people, be cautious of these phone scams that are happening involving fake banks and loan processing companies, as well as separate calls claiming that people owe money in back taxes or have an unpaid balance. And these calls often come from individuals that are posing as representatives from legitimate financial institutions, or they're alluding to some kind of affiliation or impersonating a government agency such as the IRS with these tax claims. Additional information, including personal information, is of course required to finalize these so-called loans, verify account details, or review program eligibility.
Are these typically robocalls, or are they leaving messages and people are calling back?
So in many cases reported locally to Scam Tracker, people report receiving multiple calls per day from all kinds of different phone numbers, but they're leaving nearly identical voicemail messages. So reported examples include Delaney Cross calling from the Tax Relief Review and Abatement Agency. She's following up because your file remains unresolved and extended 2025 relief options are still open, but only briefly. Once this extension ends, future relief programs are uncertain and may offer fewer options. Many individuals reviewed right now are still qualifying for balance reductions or complete resolution, but eligibility is closing quickly. Please call back today. There is also a Sally Foster calling from TD Lending Union Underwriting. And this has really been a big one lately. Many reports involving this so-called TD Lending Union Underwriting. But the Sally Foster claims she tried to connect with you prior to the new year but wasn't able. Your file now shows that you're nearly approved for about $59,000. And if you're still looking for a personal loan, call back, ask about this offer. You might remember applying in the past for a personal loan or consolidation loan. At the time, they couldn't move forward, but things have changed. Rates are down, underwriting has opened up, especially with for folks with lower credit. And then this last example is from an Ethan Cole with the Tax Resolution Oversight Department. Based on his records, you may qualify for the 2025 IRS Liability Reduction Program. Call back to speak with a tax specialist or to go over your eligibility. And these callers often provide a callback number and an application ID or sometimes even an agent ID number to appear more convincing. And while the message sounds urgent, it's all designed to pressure you into responding quickly without verifying the true source. Their overall goal is to convince people into sharing sensitive information like social security number, bank account details, or income information to be able to use in identity theft or fraudulent financial activity.
It sounds like scams targeting tax season are already starting to heat up. What are the best ways to avoid falling for these pre-approved loan and back tax phone scams?
Verify before responding. So if you receive an unsolicited call about a loan or banking issue, hang up, contact your financial institution directly using their verified contact information from their website or official documents you've received. And just recognize it is very rare for a government agency to contact you by phone, contact the IRS directly for trustworthy information about your specific tax situation and to confirm the existence of any programs being offered. Don't overshare either. So don't provide your social security number, bank information, other sensitive data over the phone or online unless you're the one who initiated the contact. And be skeptical of urgency because scammers rely on high-pressure tactics. Real banks, lenders, government agencies are not going to demand immediate action, payment in specific non-traceable methods, or threaten consequences. and avoid calling back unknown numbers. So returning a suspicious call can connect you directly to scammers or even result in unexpected fees. Check for scam reports. Search for the phone number or company name online before engaging. And check BBB Scam Tracker for similar scam reports and report scams that you do encounter.
If you are in a financial situation where maybe you did actually apply for a loan or you need help with debt relief, what can you do?
It's a good idea. Start out by creating a written budget to help you see where you're spending your money and how you might be able to spend it a little bit differently. And gather your bills, pay stubs. Consider there's different free budget worksheets available to be able to help you. If you are behind on your bills, call your creditors directly that you owe money to. Don't wait. Do it before a debt collector ends up getting involved. And communicate. Tell your creditors what's going on. Try to work out a new payment plan with lower payments that you're able to manage. The creditor might be willing to negotiate with you. They might even agree to accept less than what you owe. This is all on a case-by-case basis, though. And make sure you keep good records of who you talk to, what has been agreed upon, and next steps. Make sure they send a written version of any agreement that you make and save it until all of your payments are made to avoid potential future issues. Even consider working with a credit counseling program to help you manage your money and debt as well. So look for these services at credit unions, universities, military personal financial managers. The U.S. Department of Justice also lists credit counseling agencies for people looking for debt reduction assistance. Many of these organizations offer services with low fees, but make sure you ask how much they'll charge you. Just keep in mind that when you're worried about debt, people are often more vulnerable to promises of fast solutions, and scammers recognize this, like the ones who have been leaving messages on pre-approved loan offers right now. And they recognize that this is the time of year after the holidays that people are concerned about debt that might have been accumulated with some extra holiday shopping.
Are there any major red flags, Caitlin, to help people avoid companies with questionable practices?
Well, fees charged before your debts are settled, pressure to pay fees masquerading as contributions, and impersonations of a government program like in the Ethan Cole IRS example I shared are all red flags. Guarantees to make debt go away or improve a credit score quickly, and any directives to stop paying debts, to stop communicating with creditors are also big red flags, along with requirements to provide personal financial information in order to get additional information. If someone is making promises about what they can do without actually reviewing your financial situation first, there's something wrong with that situation. A legitimate debt management plan is also going to involve budgeting and money management education. Promises that a company can just erase bad credit or remove information from your credit reports are too good to be true. And certainly if you have a problem with a debt settlement or other debt relief company, if you see a scam, fraud, or bad business practice, make sure you report this to the Federal Trade Commission and the Better Business Bureau.
Another hot topic now is the exact opposite of hot and involves snow and all this cold weather lately. So how are scammers taking advantage of the weather right now?
With dangerously low temperatures, all of this frigid air in place, we have been warning people to be cautious of utility imposters who like to target people and businesses during extreme cold weather events. So scammers may impersonate legitimate water, electric, gas company representatives, and threaten residents and business owners with deactivation of service if they don't pay up immediately. Well-known utility companies are commonly mimicked by scammers, especially during the winter season, and they can contact people using the same methods as independent representatives from utility companies. But unsolicited contact requesting utility account information is a big red flag, as well as high-pressure requests to try to get you to pay unpaid bills by gift card, wire transfer, mobile app, any other specific untraceable method of payment. In another form of this con, an unsolicited caller may claim that you're being required to choose a new utility supplier or that your distributor is forcing an immediate change. Eligibility claims for energy discounts are another common tactic to try to convince people to switch providers, often starting with a low introductory rate that ends up jumping to a much higher rate later on.
How can you know if you are being targeted by a utility imposter this winter?
Contact customer service directly. If you feel pressured for immediate action by an unknown caller, hang up, use the customer service number that's listed on your actual utility bill. If you're verifying information online, make sure you type the company's official website address into your web browser rather than using a general search engine to find the website. Now, if an unsolicited caller is claiming to be able to offer assistance or they're claiming affiliation with a special federal program to help pay customer utility bills, you want to verify low-income home energy assistance program, so LIHEAP eligibility and details through official sources. Don't give in to pressure to pay immediately or through untraceable payment methods. These utility scammers, they try to press for immediate payment, typically within a short time frame, so under an hour. A scammer may also try high-pressure tactics to intimidate people into giving personal and banking information. And never allow anyone into your home unless you have scheduled an appointment or reported a specific problem. It's rare that a legitimate utility company is going to show up unannounced, demand entry into your home. Also, ask utility employees for proper identification before ever letting them enter.
Utility rates have recently increased across the board, and many people may be experiencing a bit of bill shock this winter. It could seem pretty tempting to consider a caller's offer for a lower rate.
It really is tempting. You first want to verify electric distribution companies and suppliers, along with natural gas distribution companies and suppliers with the PA Public Utility Commission, though. And confirm company contact information and shop rates directly through papowerswitch.com and pagaswitch.com versus through unsolicited outreach, even if it seems to be from your utility supplier or provider. But before you decide to switch suppliers officially, BBB always recommends review your current contract, check for any early termination fees or contract expiration dates, and have an understanding of your typical electricity or gas consumption to be able to better compare the price that you're going to end up paying after a switch. And determine what's important to you. Are you shopping on current prices alone, or is being locked into a certain rate for a longer period of time important? Are renewable energy options important to you? And pay very close attention to that fixed versus variable rate component, as well as contract lengths and any extra fees. One supplier's rate may appear to be significantly lower than the others, but it could just be an introductory rate or a variable rate as opposed to fixed for a specific amount of time. And you could end up paying substantially more in future months, especially if this colder weather ends up keeping up.
Final thoughts as we wrap up the first show of 2026, Caitlin.
Well, as you start out a new year, remember, always please turn to the Better Business Bureau. We can provide some great advice, assistance to people to help you be a savvier consumer, especially in any kind of new or unfamiliar situation. You can always visit bbb.org at any time for help. You can contact us toll-free at 877-267-5222 for further assistance during normal business hours as well. And, you can even reach out to us. So follow BBB Western PA on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can always send us messages, information that way too. But we look forward to hearing from you this year and hope you continue to tune in for next month.
You've been listening to Trust Talk by BBB featuring Caitlin Driscoll, Public Relations Director, Better Business Bureau of Western Pennsylvania. Caitlin, thank you as always for the great information, and we'll talk again next month.
Talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll have thawed out a little bit by then.
The Stephen R. Hockey Funeral Home and Sylvan Heights Cemetery on North Gallatin Avenue in Uniontown, along with their staff, are proud to once again sponsor Catholic Schools Week announcements by local students, celebrating this year's theme, Catholic Schools, Faith, Excellence, Service.
What attending St. John's means to me. S is for our strong foundation centered around God and focused on academics and service.
T is for our tireless teachers who are dedicated to making sure we become well-rounded individuals.
J is for the joy that we receive in reaching our educational goals and making lifelong friends and knowing our future is brighter because we attended St. John's.
O is for one team, whether in a classroom or on the court. Teachers, parents, and students work together to achieve common goals.
H is for our home